Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day. Hope you are all having an amazing day today. My name is Lex and welcome back to some more GTA 5, where today I want to have a look at the Jester again, because I know this car has been a huge disappointment to many, and in fact it has been a disappointment to so many people that some people have actually gone ahead and pretty much recreated and improved the Jester that Rockstar made, and made the one that Rockstar should have made in the first place, really. So today I want to check out, not this car, because this is actually the original upsetting Jester with the horrible exhausts and all that sort of stuff. I want to compare this with the mod version that I found of the Jester that adds so many awesome and cool parts and just tweaks a bit and makes things just work and look a bit more like a Supra, because this car is really fallen short in that regard. So before we actually get into all of that, there's not going to be a comment on the screen, because usually there is. I'm actually asking you guys, if you can, to leave me questions in the comment section below for me to answer in a Q&A. Basically, I'm recording a bunch of videos right now for me to set up whilst I go to Japan and China, and when I come back, I will then take all the comments from all these videos between now and when I come back, and I'll do a Q&A video. So leave questions in the comment section below and I'll answer them then. So let's find somewhere to park, because I've been driving on this road a lot recently. We need to find somewhere nice and new and exciting, and I'm going to spawn in the newer version, the new improved mod version of the Jester. Okay, so here we are in the car park. This is the original Jester Classic that we have in GTA Online already, and just to the left is the new improved one. See instantly if you think this is better. Here we are. Now, instantly, straight away, there are two main things here that stand out, which already just completely improve the look of the Jester. First of all, these lights. These look more like what you get on a Supra. They fit. They work. This has always been a really weird looking headlight setup. They're all square. It didn't really make sense. It just looked all sorts of wrong. There's sort of like, when you look at the Elegy Retro, that looks very much like a Skyline. So why Rockstar then decided with the Supra that they didn't want to be too exact, I'm not entirely sure, but this just improves it no end. Now, the next bit is not actually these orange indicators, which do really improve the look anyway, because they just sort of match the original Supra. It's actually the spoiler, because that one just didn't really have the right spoiler for the job, whereas that to me is a Supra, in my opinion. That is just the Supra shape we've got going on there. We've got the lines of the spoiler. That just works so much more in terms of looking like a Supra than the original one did. So let's actually just go a look around and see what sort of details and changes we can spot. Because first of all, I can see this. We actually have the Karin Racing Performance, KRP, instead of TRD, which is pretty cool. We've got those going on the side, which you don't have on the original. On the front, it's definitely the main change is going to be those headlights and the indicators. I think the bumper has remained the same, however. It seems that way. On the side, they seem to be the same. I've got this sort of like scoop going on here with the side bits. Yeah, they seem to be pretty much the same. The doors are the same. Wing mirrors are the same, because the shape generally wasn't that far off. Okay, so before I look to my right and we look at the rear of the new modified Jester, let's just look at this old one and see where it just doesn't work as a Supra. Someone's crashed over there. Why is everyone crashing into cars around here? What's up with that? Is he going to do it again? Is he just driving around and going to crash into everything? I really should have thought about where I park these cars, because now we've got... Oh, for God's sake, there's more crashing going on. Why? Okay, let's just move that out of the way. That'll work. Okay, so back to the rear end of the original Jester Classic. So these rear lights were stupid. This spoiler was not really the right spoiler. These exhausts were just stupid. I think the only car where I would say that style exhaust is iconic is probably the SW20 MR2, because that was a really popular exhaust mod that you saw on those cars. Outside of that, I don't know what other cars really had that. I mean, I know Rockstar mixed things up, so that was probably their thoughts to add that to the Supra. It didn't really work, and I mean, these were really just low quality textures. It just stood out and looked wrong. And also this number plate was too far down on the original. So let's look right and see how this new version looks. Look at that. instantly, just moving the number plate bit has made it look so much more like a Supra. This works. Why did Rockstar not do this in the first place? Now, let's just have a look around. We've got the proper spoiler going on. We've got the actual carrying badging as well with the K instead of having this thing. This one looks a lot more like it would work, like a Toyota-esque badge. And then we have this Jester in an interesting font, actually. It's kind of 90s. It sort of works as a... Mind you, the Supra does have some sort of like calligraphy, handwritten sort of thing. It's the wrong sort of theme, but I mean, it does work because it's 90s or whatever. Then we have the lights, which now are actually 3D. And they're actually a different shape as well. These ones go round differently. In fact, are they the same shape? I think it's just because these sort of wrap round, whereas these are now set in more, that they just look like a different shape. But now we have 3 proper lights in this cluster. It now actually looks like a proper light cluster, which is amazing. And they've reused all the textures and stuff, so that all works pretty fine. And then we have this rear bumper, which has been completely changed, and they've relocated the rear number plate, and it just looks so much more like a Supra. And they've also just gone with this nice, simple one exhaust on one side. Oh, it just works so beautifully. So on the interior, I don't know what's been changed here, but this is what it looks like in the original one. And this is what we have now. I mean, we've got the different carrying badging, and that seems to be it. That looks pretty much the same apart from that. We do have a couple of changes. These seats look slightly different because they got black in the middle, whereas these are like black with white with red stitching. Whereas this just has like not even different colour stitching, I don't think. So on to modifying these things. Let's just go down. Let's go to menus, customs, and have a look here. So we've got nothing in low runner mods. That's fine. Again, it was a shame that Rockstar didn't put more into the mods on that one. If we go to the spoiler, we have quite a few. I mean, some of these are probably pulled from the original. So we've got the bootlip spoiler, X-Flow wing, alien wing, different types of carbon ones going on here. Big one, massive ones. I just want to compare how the spoilers now look on the old one. We'll just have to do this piece by piece, I think. So on the spoiler of this one, we have that stock one, and then we have all these. So yeah, this one has like mid-level spoilers and stuff, but most of these big ones are pretty much just added to the new one. But this one has the custom body wing and the extreme racer wing. Interestingly, these haven't been added to the other one. I'm not entirely sure why, because actually I think that out of all the spoilers for the original one, that was probably the most fitting. But then it might just be quite similar to the standard spoiler. Yeah, in fact, if you go back to the standard, it's very close, isn't it? I mean, this one's just a little bit more squared, but yeah, it's a shame that we didn't have that option in this one, because I think actually that would have been quite a nice look anyway. But I think the stock spoiler is going to work great. Then onto the front bumper, we have just 3 small options. We've got the stock, well, 4 including the stock. So we have the X-Flow front bumper, we've got the Walker lip. Oh, interesting, it's also called the Walker lip, like Paul Walker. So again, references to Fast and the Furious and everything else, that works. And then we have the street style bumper. Now, this one gets rid of a little detail that we really didn't need in the original one. And that was this turbo attached to the intercooler. I don't know why Rockstar thought that was a good idea, but this looks so much better. So much better. And also this one just basically just added that to the original bumper, whereas that has got a different shape on the bumper. It looks a little different, and it's got some little splitter thing going on the bottom. Where's that me? Is it the same? I don't know. I think it's just because this looks a little bit thinner, but it might just be because without the turbo it just looks like that, but it looks slightly different. It could just be me. But then this one had like the center cut grille, which actually I wouldn't have mind being in this one, because that was actually in reference to a real body kit, I think. But then these headlight covers and other weird things were all sort of weird. So yeah, I think that the options that we get, especially with like the Walker lip and stuff on the original, or on the new modified version, I think definitely do look better. Yeah, these bumpers, they're definitely more my thing. So we'll go with the street style bumper, because that looks awesome, and so much more like a Supra than that thing did. So on the rear bumpers, we have the option of the X-Flow rear bumper, which just adds this nice little bulbous bit at the bottom, a little bit extra on the sides. Quite nice, quite simple, very Supra. We have the single cut diffuser. I think the other one did have a diffuser. We'll again check in a second. Then we have the dual cut stock, which I think is probably going to make way for some different exhausts in a minute. It's just giving us a nice dual cut on the exhausts. And then we also have the dual cut version of the diffuser, because the single one doesn't have an exhaust cut on that side. Also noting they are actually taking the exact same piece, adding it back there. So for this one, I think we'll just go for the single cut diffuser. Are you telling me that... Why are they crashing into things? There's nothing to crash into. What are you doing? Oh, God. This was a terrible place to park. So on this one on the rear bumpers, we had the custom diffuser, which looks very similar to the one that we have here. I'm pretty sure that's identical. Yeah, they've used that diffuser again. And then we also had this one with the colour thing, which we didn't really need. That's some sort of like supercar style detail. We don't really need that. And then this had the really weird carbon rear bumper in the diffuser version. So yeah, this one has some better options because it gives you the option of the single or the double exhaust. And we've also got like the extra little lip one because we didn't really have anything other than stock. Yeah, that's definitely not as good. The new modded version, definitely more options. And in fact, I'm not even really into that diffuser, so I just want to go for that X-Flow rear bumper just because it adds a nice little bulbous bit to the bottom. I think it looks really fat and awesome. Fat being PH fat, we're talking 90s here. Then on the skirts, we only have one skirt, which is called Skirt 1, which just adds that little bit there, which I think we did have on this one. So I'm going to do two things at once. We'll get the exhaust as well first. So we have the stock, then we have the single titanium, and then we have the dual chrome. Definitely very nice dual chrome. Again, I hate titanium, so it's a shame that we only have the titanium options. It would have been nice to have had a big, massive sort of fart can exhaust, because this is a Japanese car. We do need like a big exhaust that you can stick your fist into. But again, such a huge improvement on this double compared to this monstrosity. That is so much better. So as for skirts and exhaust on this one, we have the primary lip skirt, which I believe is the same thing. It looks to me that they're the same, so that's fine, because that was actually perfectly fine as a skirt. And then on the exhaust options, this one had the dual titanium ones. Then we had the twin chrome. Now this, I would have liked this canister on this one, because I like that we can have some nice bigger ones. And this did actually have some small options, but again, there were sort of these angled exhausts. They look a bit odd. It's nice that we can have these ones that are just a bit more realistic. But yeah, it would have been nice if we could have had like that. Just a big single one like that on this side. So then moving on to the chassis. Now these are probably going to be exactly the same. We've got the secondary colour roll cage, chrome roll cage, and then we also have the secondary colour with these race seats. I have a feeling this one didn't have any race seat options. Okay, let's have a look. So then we have that one with the nice carbon seats, and then we have that with the chrome. So I'll just go for the carbon seats and the secondary roll cage. That looks nice. And we'll also check out the hood at the same time. So this one has the stock, it has the secondary colour hood, it has the custom hood, it has the scoped hood, it's got the vented hood. I think we had that on this, but I'm not sure. Now this is the hood that we got from the Supra that's in Fast and the Furious 1. I'm pretty sure that's the one that we had, the original orange Supra. We also have the... Oh, no. This is. What am I talking about? That is the one that we got from Fast and the Furious, which I think was in that one. Then we also have those carbon versions of those same things. And actually, whilst I'm here, let's just do three things at once before moving to the next car. I just want to open this hood because the engine is different as well. Now, we've got something that looks a little bit more like a 2JZ, and we've got... just big old turbo right there. Classic Supra setup right there with just a big, massive turbo. Because the other one, well, we'll see in a second. It's not really right for the Supra. So, let's jump out and compare those things. So, for the chassis, we have this basically, yeah, secondary cage, chrome cage. Now this is where it's different. This used these really low, crappy, like low textured, low quality seats that just looked awful. Whereas this one has just much nicer, cooler looking seats in my opinion. These ones just did not fit. Although these were perhaps a bit more fitting to the age of the car. Like these were the seats that were like popular at the time. But I mean, this is modern day, so it's nice that we have this option. Maybe we could have had a combination of the two, but yeah, I just never really liked the texture quality on that. It looks awful. Look at that. This is a 2018 update for a game. You'd expect better texture than that. Then on the hood, we have all these options. We have the secondary color, we have the custom hood. These all seem to be the same thing, vented hood, performance hood. So basically, they just had performance hood, which is a combination of the custom and what we have called this one the Alien. Whereas, oh no, this does have it as well. It does have the performance thing. So those seem to be exactly the same. Nothing has changed there. Yeah, for some reason I thought... Yeah, okay, so at least the hoods and the chassis and stuff seems to be the same. But let's just go ahead and open up the bonnet. And as you can see, the engine that we got in here looks something more fitting for something like a Skyline. And you really just couldn't see any big turbo or anything in it, obviously, because they stuck the turbo down there for some reason. So, of course, those two engines, this one just fits and just looks so much more like it should be in a Carrion. That's a bit more of a Nissan Skyline type engine. So moving on to the very last thing, we have the roof. I should have combined those really. So we have the primary roof scoop, the secondary, and the carbon, which I think is pretty much identical to what we have on this one. So really the main changes are that they've changed the bumpers, they've changed the lights, they've added badging, they've changed the rear lights completely, changed the rear bumper completely, add much better exhaust options, and given us a much better stock spoiler as well. Also got the badging. Oh yeah, also, we need to check, because there was a ridiculous bug on the original Jester Classic. We open up the trunk. Ah, look! The light is attached to the boot lid. And you might be thinking, well, Lex, that makes sense. Why am I getting excited about that? Because on this one, for some unknown reason, this trunk light... Oh! It moves! They fixed it! Wait, what? Am I going mad? Oh. Oh. Okay. Just had a slight realization that actually what we're looking at here is not the original. This is actually a bug-fixed version that I think comes with VanillaWorks Extended, because I also noticed that we have glass on both these lights. So I think this is actually the bug-fixed version. So basically before, if you actually go watch my original Jester video with the original Jester, that light strip got stuck onto it and like it just stayed exactly where it was. Yeah, this seems to be a bug fixed version, so that's great. But I mean, even ignoring the bugs, it was the look of the car that was terrible. But now we have the improved versions. Actually, well, I've already sort of got a build going on here, but I'm just going to do a quick speed build. Seems we've already checked through all the parts. And let's see what I can make. So actually I need to pause right here because I've actually found a couple of extras with this one. So for a start, well, you can probably see that I'm now missing a spoiler because you can actually have a completely spoilerless look if you so wished. But we also, on the front, have a little sun strip. Again, very cool, very 90s, very 2000s, very of the era of this car. But I'm not really that into sun strips, so I'm actually going to not roll with any of those. Anyway, back to the time lapse. Okay, and here we are with the finished piece. So I wanted to go for this pearl white, which is a colour I really don't use much on this channel. I've just basically gone for this metallic white, and I've gone to pearlescent, and I've just gone for a nice bright blue. And I think it makes this really awesome pearl white colour, which is actually a colour that I really want in an MR2, but I figured seems like it's Toyota themed. I figured let's try it out in a Supra, see how it looks. And then I've just gone for this bumper as we had before. I've gone for this bonnet because I just think it just looks better than the more Fast and the Furious style one. I've gone for these awesome 6-spoke deep dish wheels as I think they look beautiful. And I've just gone for the bulbous rear end. I haven't really changed much on the looks from as it was before, I'll be perfectly honest. And basically what I've done is I've gone a V-stancer, I've made the wheels a little wider, and I've tucked them in just a little bit. And I've also gone ahead and tuned all the car up so it's actually slammed a little bit. And it's just got a full modified engine with turbo. The sound is not exactly right, but here is... Whoa! Okay, that was terrible. Oh, actually, oh, as we go into the shade. Oh, look at that. You can really see the pearl colours. Oh, that's nice in the shade. That looks really nice. So there we have our pearl white Supra, where the sound is not exactly what I'm after, but I don't think we really have a Super-y style sound in this game. Okay, so going through all the supercar sounds, everything just sounds a bit like a V12 or a V8. So I'm really not sure what to go for. Nothing really sounds right. But you know what? I'm just going to go for the NTX XR. Get it over and done with. There we go. And also I've tweaked the torque just a little bit to make it a bit more like one of those crazy 1,000 horsepower Supras. There we go. Just huge amounts of boost and no grip. Absolutely insane. And there we are. That is the new and improved Jester Classic. Just goes to show you that there are modders out there that just do a car more justice than Rockstar do. And I'll tell you what, I've got to be honest, I hate hating on Rockstar. I really do. Because I love the fact that they've made this game. They're building Red Dead Redemption 2. By the way, side note, would you guys be interested in that? Or do you think this channel has become far too focused on cars, which actually wasn't really completely my intention? But if you guys are all into Rockstar games, I'm thinking of doing Red Dead Redemption 2 videos. We'll have to see. Not sure how much content I can really get out of that game, but we'll have to see if you guys are interested. But yeah, I hate hating on Rockstar. But the thing is, I also think that a lot of the times it's actually not Rockstar's fault. It's really just Take-Two sort of push them to do things, or they rush them to get like these new things out, all these updates out, because they want to make more money from. They're like, oh no, cash is drying up from shark cards. Put out a new update so there's more things for people to buy. That's the second one of these cars I've just seen. What's up with that? And why is he not moving? But yeah, the original Jester Classic that we had in the latest update was an absolute catastrophe, in my opinion. And, well, I don't know if Rockstar are going to fix it. I am going to assume, because I haven't had any update downloads, that was VanillaWorks Extended that fixed those bugs that we saw in the original Jester Classic just there. But yeah, it's sort of interesting that that hasn't really been noticed by Rockstar, or they haven't really mentioned it publicly. They're sort of like hiding the fact that they made an error. But yeah, that car was a travesty. This mod is so much better. It does look very much like a Supra. I mean, if we're going to be honest, is it too close to a Supra that perhaps Rockstar just weren't able to do that? But this rear end is perfect, in my opinion. For a version of the Supra for GTA 5, this is great. I would highly recommend, if you were very much disappointed with the original Jester Classic, to go ahead and download this mod. I'll put a link in the description below. My throat is getting really bad once again. Sort of like, if I let it calm down for a little bit, I'm cool. But then as soon as the video goes on, it just dies out. But there we are, guys. Thank you so much for watching and sticking with me with all the lack of videos and stuff. It's nice to see that you guys still care. But thanks, guys, and don't forget, Q&A video will happen once I get back from Japan and China, so leave me questions in the comment section below. And I'm going to feature at least one from every video that I upload between now, or the previous video actually, and when I come back from China and Japan. Okay, that's it for the final time. Goodbye, everyone. See you next time.